Oh, Judea. Good afternoon. It's still cold, Judea. Winter prevails. We'll see for how much longer. Cold days every day. Every day morning is cold. What will be the summer like? Probably scorching hot. Where are we going today? In the park. Just a walk in the park under the cover of clouds. Maybe I'll see the plum trees, blooming plum trees. They're almost losing their leaves. 26, oh, nice temperature. That's comfortable, I guess. Yeah, here, who knows? Actually, this cold is nice. When I think of summer, kind of like it. Oh, the plum trees have already started to lose their blossoms. There is one variety of cherry that blooms now, and that's it. And hopefully the other cherries will come. So, according to the calendar, the spring it is, yes. It started already. Now it's actually the season of rain, like a season of water, rainwater, I guess they call it in Chinese. But Japan took their calendar in 6th century. So that calendar has actually 24 seasons subdivided, each season subdivided into 3. And that's, I think, 72 seasons in total. Rain, so yeah, we've been having 2 days. Oh, yeah, it's been raining here last week. It was really miserable and cold. And maybe it's good because it washed down the pollen. In Japan, there are copious amounts of pollen in the spring to the point that even the non-allergic person sneezes and becomes allergic. Yeah, do you get pollen? And maybe your rain washes the pollen and keeps it at bay. Here, it gets in your eyes and your nose. If you scratch your eyes, that's the end. Tear gas style. You've got the balanced nature, at least. Yeah, the springs is where all the trees start to bloom, like these plum trees, for example. And there's a lot of pollen flying. And that makes people allergic over time because it's too much. Oh, the smell here is so nice. Of course, I cannot focus on this. Oh, I must have touched the screen and now my focus doesn't work. The autofocus. Maybe here we'll have some luck. Oh, there we go. So many plums. There will be so many plums in the summer after these flowers pass. Oh, and I started to growing the carnivorous Drosera plant. Drosera capensis, I think. Indonesia has only hot. Yeah, a little less hot. My gosh. I would never even think of getting my winter clothes out. I'm wearing like leather jacket, leather coat actually. If that would melt in Indonesia. That would get moldy in Indonesia first, and then it will melt. Beautiful blossoms. I'm sure there are some schools on excursion trips. That's where all this coming from. Leather jacket, my dad has it, but this is quite tricky actually. Yeah, how do you preserve leather things? Here in Japan, when the rainy season comes, anything that's leather gets eaten by mold. You have to have them specially packed away. And sometimes you forget, and your sandals are eaten by the finest quality mold. There's just so much mold damage, you wouldn't believe. I don't know how you guys live with the mold not catching onto things. It's not easy. You can destroy your clothes in the storage. Washroom has mold. If you get mold infestation, it just flies and spreads around. Oh, there's so many people there. Maybe you just throw things out if they get moldy. Or maybe you have good air conditioning system. Oh, that does happen sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Japanese places are dark. Original Japanese houses are dark. But to prevent the mold from growing, they are always, the doors are open during the day, even in the winter. That way the air flies around, and I guess you get less mold. But when it starts raining and it gets super humid, the humidity goes in, and of course you have your doors closed, windows closed. That creates sauna conditions that the mold thrives. And once you get mold, that's it. It's very hard to get rid of it. Probably have to demolish the building. That's what they do in Canada. In Canada, they're so scared of molds, especially the dark black mold that causes cancer and lots of health issues. That they don't bother even cleaning it because they know it's impossible. They demolish the building to clean. Oh my gosh, you open windows during rainy times. Yeah, I think because you get the air moving through. That probably stops the mold. But it's tricky, it's tricky. Here, well, the humid rainy season doesn't last that long. But then there's the humid summer, and that's, you know, mix of typhoons, humidity, and mold. Tricky stuff. In Canada, I love the central heating and cooling. And your whole house is sealed with just the right humidity. And of course, there is the air coming from outside, fresh air, and old one coming to the outside. But it feels really nice, and there's no dust and no problems with mold. Houses are really expensive though. And same in the winter. You just have heating. Winter is actually really dry. Like it would say the humidity is 98% at minus 20 degrees Celsius. But in reality, everything is so dry. Like you cannot trust the humidity reader, the meter. Like you have to go by dew point. Many people wanted to move to Canada. Oh my gosh. From your place, it would be so shocking. You probably would just stay there 1 week and think of going back. Some people who came like from warmer countries, they didn't like it. Yeah, 85, yeah, you have tropics. 85. Do you have carnivorous plants around there? I think this is the country of carnivorous plants, you know, the ones that can consume insects. They like that humidity. But so I'm growing from seeds my carnivorous plant. Yeah, oh my gosh, you really have it. Here they are like, you know, collectibles, like pictures, Dionea, you know, Venus flytraps, and Drosera, the ones with the sticky long leaves. And I had this plant, I bought it 3 years ago, and it bloomed a few times, but I could never find the seeds. And the last time it bloomed before it died, coincidentally, I collected the dry flowers. And then I powdered these flowers into fine dust. I put them on a peat moss, and I kept it wet. And after 2 months, I spotted like these microscopic green things growing. I didn't know what it was till I took a magnifying glass. And then I realized, my gosh, those are like the little tiny microscopic plants that just started to grow from seeds. I didn't know that the seeds are so tiny you cannot even see them with your eyes. So now these plants are getting bigger and bigger. I tried feeding them with fish food, but I got some mold. So I don't know what to do next. So far they're growing, so good. Oh, petra plants, oh my gosh, we have all the ones. Yeah, we kind of, we buy them in the flower stores, or, you know, home center gardens, you know, to try to keep them at indoors. but they require so much sun and high humidity. They always die on me. And I had one in Canada and few in Japan, and and it just didn't work. But maybe now that this one is growing, I kind of get a feeling that I cannot really stick it outside. Maybe I should keep it indoors for the whole time. Maybe the sun is too strong later for it. I don't know. But they're usually in the wild though. I never see people growing. Yeah, of course. I mean, I heard the some of them grow in Japan in the wild. I've never seen. So it is possible. It is possible. And they're fascinating for some reason. Just fascinating. Anyway, if this works, maybe I'll have lots of carnivorous Droseras. I've been doing transplanting the last week onto a new peat moss from the old one that got molded. They are little tiny ones. Maybe I could try different feed with protein for them. Yeah. But people say that you get mold if you feed them. Oh, future dinner. Come. It's not afraid. Look at that. Future dinner. Pigeon soup. Pigeons. These pigeons. Oh. Look at these branches fallen down from, what was it, 2 days ago? There was such a crazy wind. It broke a whole bunch of trees around and branches. Oh, and I have my ants, but they're still sleeping. I'll have so exciting spring and summer. When my aunts will wake up, I'll give them some nice feeding, food. We'll see if they increase in numbers. Tomorrow is going to be colder than today. -2 degrees Celsius in the morning. That's crazy. Chilly times. But I'm glad that it's not snowing. What was this time once that it snowed? Right in this season. I think a little bit later, when the cherries were blooming. That was just crazy. Now this is a winter cherry. Kind of blooms a little bit. I'm so white. I think the sun will burn me in like 10 minutes. I once went to the south of Japan, like where it's closer to the equator. And I got roasted so much. Like my face, my body, I looked like a cooked lobster. It was just painful for the rest of the time. Oh my gosh. The sun is so much stronger if you're closer to the equator. Well, it looks like the park maintenance is rolling along. I think they are going to work on something. or cutting the branches. Put on sunscreen. I get roasted with the sunscreen. Yeah, I think I need to have like a SPF over 100 not to roast. It's terrible. Yeah, last couple of years I had something growing on my hand and had to go to hospital to cut it out. Oh my god, it was awful. Awful. I wish I was completely black and wouldn't have to worry about getting roasted. But the viewer's skin is whiter. Oh, it's got no protection. I guess that's what that was like in a long time ago. We just lived in those cold northern European places like Vikings, cloudy skies, dark times, in the forest. Everyone was wearing clothes. And then we lost the dark skin gene. Something going on here, yeah. Yeah, I went to see the doctor because that thing was only getting bigger. And it was like, pre-cancer. And I had them to cut it out. Oh, it was terrible. He was cutting and cutting, and you could feel, all the tough skin. Human skin is just so tough to cut. You really have to have sharp tools. Well, and now it's okay. Too much sun for me, I guess, already. Too hot and unbearable. Yeah, here too. Japanese, they don't like summer. Yeah, if it gets hot, everybody complains. It's like humid, hot. You get noxious from all this. Winter, on the other hand, yeah, it's bearable to the point there's no insulation in the houses, but then at the same time it's so cold when you have no insulation, and that also promotes the mold growth, because you know what happens when it gets cold but the indoors is warm, and your walls are cold, for example, you will have the water content from the air subliming on your walls, and guess what, if your walls are wet, that's where the mold grows. It doesn't happen with 20 degrees Celsius, but when you go down to like 9, 8, yeah, no fun. No fun. But you guys have this hot and hot all year round. I've never lived like that. You must get tired. I would get tired from same weather. It's the opposite in Canada, where the winter lasts 7 months, and when it's supposed to go away, there's like another extra time where the snow stays, and and then you get a cabin fever. You just cannot stand being indoors anymore. When there's snow outside, you can't really go anywhere. It's cold, miserable. You can have fun at home watching TV, or go to shopping mall or the library. There's nothing else. Just want to live in it. Yeah, yeah, you're used to it. Yeah, yeah. Interesting, interesting. Moving to yeah, Europe is cold. Like the Northern Europe. Oh, it's pretty too cold for you. Very uncomfortable for the winter. But you wear hats and gloves and um, coats. And now with the global warming, it's getting warmer and warmer. That's probably a bad worse for you because you're going to be having a hotter weather. But even here in Japan, the weather, usually it's like typhoon comes, it gets humid, hot, and then it passes away, gets less humid. The typhoons didn't come, and it was just this dry, hot, which is better than the humid hot, but still it was just so miserable. Just dry, hot weather, and also not so amazing. With the humid one, you can get heat stroke easily because nothing, your sweat cannot evaporate. But if you get used to it, maybe it's okay. But when the sun is like a laser and it's dry, it feels so dull. But at least the sweat is evaporating from you. Anything has its pros and cons. If I move to Netherlands, for example, I would wear 5 layers of clothes. Yeah. The layering thing works. That's what we do in Canada. We just don't wear one thing. We just wear multiple layers, and then we just open few of them. If we feel too hot or if we feel cold, we just close them. And you don't need expensive clothes for that. Of course, there are people who wear those Canada Goose parkas, filled with parkas, coats filled with goose feathers. These things are rated for minus 40 Celsius. Even if you try it when it's plus 20, you would feel the warmth very easily. Oh, looks like a supportive vehicle is coming here too. So, yeah. It's like a go-kart, mini truck. I bet he's going to collect all the broken branches. Oh, another car is coming. Another car. They have to drive very slowly here because it's a walking pathway, not a road. Minus 40 of the. It's so cold, even your tears start freezing. You would get serious cabin fever. Imagine spending indoors for like 5 months. It's almost like COVID, where you cannot go out or anything. Maybe we get like a advantage from it, so we don't get COVIDized and traumatized from that. But gosh, it's hard. It's hard. Here in Japan, at least you can go out, and in this place there's no snow. Always some flower here and there, some green patches, trees that don't lose the leaves. Of course, not all of them do that. I think it's good here. And those trusty carnivorous plants imported from Indonesia, where you can buy them in the flower store for some higher than normal plant price. Anyway, I gotta go now. Thanks for coming, and keep chill. And have a nice Thursday. So Bye for now. Scoping down.